Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, has made it clear that he is not interested in forming any coalition that solely focused on grabbing power without addressing the well-being of Nigerians. For him, the priority is discussing the future of Nigeria and how to improve the lives of its citizens. Obi emphasized that Nigeria's current state is unacceptable, with the country breathing poverty daily and its people suffering. He believes that any coalition should focus on securing Nigerians, ensuring children have access to education, and caring for the common person. This has sparked reaction across several quarters, especially pundits who feel that the opposition only has a shot if it stands united.
Coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now.
So how do you address the issue of monetization of politics?
That's what we need to remove.
Well, joining me to discuss this and more, particularly issues around the Labour Party, is Abayomi Arabambi, is the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party. He joins virtually. Thank you for your time, sir. Well, let me start by asking you. You saw that, of course, little excerpt from what Peter Obi said, talking about coalition and giving conditions about, if at all, any form of coalition will happen ahead of 2027. I'd like your reaction to what he said, and particularly if this is also a reflection of the Labour Party or is just solely Peter Obi's opinion.
Well, thank you. It is not, the opinion of Mr. Peter Obi. That is the opinion of Labour Party. That has been in our manifesto, had been issued even before 2023 general election. And I thank God that our reconciliatory process, is gaining ground, is gaining traction, because the National Committee is actually in a very good move with the two leaders of the party, that is His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and Governor Alessoti, because all of us have been able to realize one fact, that the current administration lack the capacity to move Nigeria forward. Therefore, it is the right time for us to put a square peg in a square hole, and everything between us must, all of us will come to a round table. It is about give and take. When you go for a peace meeting, you will gain some, you will lose some. And that was the reason why our presidential candidate dissociated himself from most of these power grabbers. People that have devastated our economy, not even before now. Before now, they have been in government. But when they are in government, their government has no direction. Be you APC, be you PDP. He knows, and that was why His Excellency, has to make a policy statement. So all the people that think, we will invite him, let us just grab power without any focus.
All right.
Without any mission was what he traded himself from. And
Mr. Arabambi, your opinion or your line of thought now sort of contradicts the conversation we had on this program months back. You seem to align with Peter Obi and even Governor Alex Otti. But I remember a while back, this was not so. You even said it blatantly that there are no more members of your party. So what is going on here?
I said reconciliatory process. In Nigeria, you will have 3 people that are going to mention that you believe they will ever be part of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Senator Akpabio, Daniel Bwala, and former Governor of Rivers State. These are the people that have called, at different fora, they call APC cancer. But you and I watched the last presidential media share when the president gave a salute to the former Governor of Rivers State. You see, in a political party, it's about reconciliation. Yeah, you are going to have misgivings. You are going to have your differences. But we've not been able to put Nigeria ahead of our personal differences.
So are you telling Nigerians right now, talking about reconciliation, are you saying all the court cases that involves the Julius Abure faction and the Alex Oti faction, Usman Naledi, are you saying all of it has been quashed?
No, I said we are, we are in the process of reconciliation.
So those cases are still in court?
No, I'm coming. Mr. B has been able to demonstrate that now, telling everybody that they're coming to meeting that it won't be a party to any form of, power grabbing. Those that want to grab power without any recourse to what they want to do with it, like we have seen in the current administration, where you inherited over 84 billion.
You still have not answered my question. I asked, are those cases within the issues of the Labour Party leadership, are they still in court?
They will they are still in court. You are getting me? But it will be, every matter will be withdrawn. Just like you have said now, that you are shocked, I am now talking in line with, with his own belief. I said, Nigeria is bigger than all of us. We must put our differences aside so that we will be able to reposition Nigeria for May 29, 2027. All those matters will be settled, and like I said, Julius Abure and Alhaji Farouk Umar will still lead that party to 2027 election.
Because I also know on this program you made certain remarks talking about tribal, groupings or tribal insinuations within the party. Some people trying to hijack it and all of that. Are you telling Nigerians right now that you are eating your words? And
no, you see, there are people might make mistake in the past.
So you agree you made a mistake then?
No, all of us. There are people with Mr. Peter Obi, there are people with us. There are people, because of their pecuniary gain, they will mislead their leader that, this is the way we want to do it. But now the door is quite open. A lot of people are coming on board. We are now saying that every of those, past misgivings, we have to forgive ourselves and move on because of Nigeria. Look at where Nigeria is today, where people are picking their food from, a refuge center. We must think about Nigeria. Our children are out of school. Here we have an administration who did not bother. You and I watched when they were asking questions about 20 billion appropriated to the Office of Chief of Staff, and the amount that was released, and what was appropriated to the Office of the Vice President, and what was given. So you see, these are the anomalies that all of us, as members of the same political party, decided to come together in our meeting to reconcile ourselves so that we will not be able to take power from these strangulators, from these economic decimators.
Okay.
Because if we continue along that line, which is their happiness, definitely Nigeria will still go backward to like maybe 40, 50 years by the time you allow these people to take over by 2027 to 2021. That means we'll have put our vehicle in a reverse gear and we take about to 30 years. So
is it okay? I'm sorry. And I would ask you this directly because I know Nigerians watching would also want to know. So is it okay if I call you an obedient?
No, I'm a Labour Party national officer. Are you getting me? Obedient are part and parcel of our party. But in Labour Party, you have to be member of Labour Party before you can participate in activities. All of them, they are members of the party, they've been registering. But I am telling Nigerians today that Nigeria should be ready. Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be ready. Atiku should be ready. That if they think we are going to that poll in 2027 in a divided house, then they are making a mistake. We are going to put our differences behind us, just like PDP did their own, APC did their own. You knew they have a problem in 2023 when they wanted to remove their caretaker, but they come together to deceive Nigerians that, give us this government, we are going to perform credibly well.
All right.
Are you getting me? So for us, we are not, enemies. We have just differences where some people try to manipulate, themselves on our integrity, and we said no. Now the people in court, Nenadi and Co, I have just told you that Mr. Peter Obi, our governor, Alex Oti, the national chairman, the national secretary, we are in a reconciliation process now, which is normal because Nigeria should be our prime target, like our president candidate said, where we'll now be able to bring all our children back to school.
All right. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll definitely dwell on other issues arising. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have with me Mr. Abayomi Arabambi, the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, joins virtually. Thank you for staying with me. Now, looking ahead of 2027, I mean, you've talked about how it appears that the Labour Party is pretty much united now, putting behind its differences and all. Even though for some Nigerians watching, they may feel that maybe the Abure faction is pretty much apprehensive that without the presence of a Peter Obi, the chances of the party standing a chance in 2027 might be slim. You might choose to respond to that. But my question to you directly is this. Should Peter Obi choose to leave the Labour Party, for instance, are you worried as the National Publicity Secretary of the party?
Now, these are two questions. One, the very first one you asked. You see, a lot of our people, they have a very short attention span. And, this conversation, we need to keep it ongoing, about this current administration, dangerous rhetoric and anti-democratic practices. The muzzling of the press, protests they don't want you to do. And they are slightly, moving on to an authoritarian regime, which all of them will resist. Now, our president candidate, let me just be very frank with you, is not leaving anywhere. Because that was the reason why ab initio, most of those came into the obedient camp and Labour Party camp to divide us. Mr. Peter Obi is not leaving Labour Party. We are not worried because he's not going to leave Labour Party. We are ready. Come 2027 general election. There will be no more glitches from INEC. We are not going to tolerate, most of these inconsistencies. Vote will count during that general election. Vote is going to count. It's not a question of anybody running to court to go and, claim a mandate. Our mandate as freely given to us in May 27. We count. It must count and it's going to count.
All right. Let's talk about the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, you have cited some reservation as a party that you have against the administration. I mean, if it was the Labour Party, for instance, what will it do differently?
Well, thank you very much. I mean, we have a direction. The problem we have in this country is that we have a lot of, people like saying you have a square peg in a round hole. People that doesn't even know what they were doing government and they still retain them. I am going to give you two examples. Look at the Minister of Power in Nigeria and look at the man in charge of our petroleum. For God's sake, that petroleum belongs to the federal government of Nigeria and not an individual. We have a regulatory agencies, but today, nobody has been able to inform Nigerians. This is the amount of crude oil we took abroad. But in refining the crude oil, they think we are fools. They will bring back what? Only, petrol, which we call petrol, they will bring petrol. But do not forget, in the recycling process, in the distillation process of, crude oil, you have kerosene, you have, paraffin, you have diesel, you have jet fuel.
Okay.
Who are the people? You have asphalt, you have bitumen. But they will put everything on, the petrol, telling us that, they are into subsidy.
Okay.
Look at what they did. I'm coming. Look at what they did concerning subsidy. Do you know that the 10 trillion they generated, they said they are using it to service debt. Owned by who? By Buhari. And the money they said they are using the subsidy. How can I be suffering for a money taken by the APC administration that the APC administration has not been able to tell us what they use that money for? And you are not taxing ordinary Nigerians like you and me, vulnerable Nigerians like you and me, that, oh, we are going to remove the subsidy. You now want that subsidy. You said you use 10 trillion. The 10 trillion to service debt in Nigeria. People don't even fear God.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, the 8-point-something trillion they talk about, that the debt he inherited. What did they use that money to do?
Okay, I mean, there are quite a number of issues, but we need to go. I just want to ask you a question before we go. 30 seconds.
No company are not functioning. Nobody is buying from us. And that's why we are saying from consumption to production. Nobody is importing from Nigeria. That is the problem we have. And we have our dollar, naira rate to that, because nobody is asking. Let me open up on something to you.
Just before I let you go, Mr. Arabambi, just before I let you go, a quick question, 30 seconds, talking about coalition. Is there any particular candidate the Labour Party might be eyeing, should it choose to present a Peter Obi as its presidential candidate in 2027? Are there particular candidates you would sort of give an open ticket to say, you know what, come and join and pair with Peter Obi and let's, take it 2027.
To join the Labour Party as what? A presidential candidate?
No, maybe alongside Peter Obi.
Well, for us, we are going to keep that road, but our main principal target are those two individuals who have worked tirelessly for the party, and that is Mr. Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti. We still have a long way to go, but the reconciliation process will definitely yield fruit. It's going to produce results for us that every cases in court will be withdrawn so that we can have stability in the National Working Committee for us to have a plausible way to move forward and take over government from the APC come May 29, 2027.
All right.
We will now be able to start, to bring in foreign investors, people will now be, imported from Nigeria. They will be demanding naira. Then our naira will now become stronger.
I'm sorry, we need to go. Mr. Abayomi Arabambi, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we'll revisit this conversation again, and maybe all of these issues, the reconciliation committee would have trashed it out, and I would see a very united Labour Party. But once again, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.